Okay, so last thing on the new business on the agenda is setting Halloween and Beggars Night. So I guess the most obvious date would be actually the 31st, that's Saturday night. Are we doing this, are we promoting or saying that we don't give a care about Corona, or do we, I mean, so to me, even if you said it's Beggars Night, the individual resident has their own decision to make whether what they want to do with their kids, if they want to put their kids out in that situation or not. I just don't want to say, yes, we're going to do that, and then getting the people think we don't care about the coronavirus. Comments?
Why don't we just set a date in case this comes up, but we'll see what other jurisdictions does about this. It's not good to, you know, let the kids out really, but
Yeah.
there again, we need to see what their people are doing.
It will be on the news, 5 kids in Jefferson got corona because they're let out on Beggars Night. So tentatively, the 31st, and we'll make a decision next meeting. Okay.
Okay.
Jim? Okay. So that's all new business we got. Next thing is the physical officer's report. Tracy Edwards, the floor is yours.
In your package, of course, is a regular report that we use at every meeting. Since I haven't got all the information to do the bank reconciliation, I haven't done the report to send you guys out the monthly report from September. On the back table is the first time for the citizens. Not only, the bills, the only comment is we're getting the bills in a little bit better, with everything changing around. It's a lot more work for the fire department to get their stuff done. The road and all the other funding, most of them, I'm getting the bills in more frequently now. I'm not getting stacks of them, so that's good. I hope that continues. I thank you, Mr. Wolf, for doing that.
Thank you for working with me. Thank you.
So right now, we're pretty much still good. I got a whole bunch of bills yesterday, so I know that's going to stack up again. But, it wasn't a whole bunch, but another stack. So hopefully we can get those knocked out. My only issue, and we discussed this early in this meeting and also in our work session, is this coronavirus money. I don't know what the next pot of money is going to be. I have told them it's going to be close to $30,000 again. So that's going to total us up to $100,000 that we have to spend. Only because the fire department is a public health issue, they're using most of the money right now. I mean, we got hand sanitizer stations over in Calumet Center. Basically, that's all. Well, we can get some thermometers, I guess, but we don't need them until we start having meetings over there and people coming in the building. It's just hard to use that much money. I've been in a lot of meetings, where I've heard a lot of ideas of what to use the money for, and that's why the issue with the meetings came up. That's why I gave you those papers on what we can do. Instead of just having Ohio Township Association, treasurers, U.S. Treasury, several state auditors, they're all trying to help us use this money, giving us ideas and everything. I mean, I've asked you guys several times what you wanna do with it, it's just hard, everybody's having a hard time with trying to spend this money, that's why you're getting, you don't need to buy masks because everybody's giving us masks. Bureau Workers Comp gave us 100 masks, I got them sitting over there on my desk. I mean, it's just everybody's using their money to give away stuff. So, I mean, the big concern right now is, what are we gonna do with that money? And we need to do it fast. You know, the original legislation was, uncover that money by October 15th, take it move to November because of this additional money that we're getting, at least we're supposed to be getting of the new House Bill 641, I think it is. They just passed it last week, as they were supposed to, and we're supposed to get the money this week, but I haven't heard any opinion. So we need to think of some way to do with that money, or we'll just have to give it back. And if we do find some way to lose the money, after December, if it's not encumbered, if the other places don't encumber the money after November, I can't remember the exact date, November, we can get more money. But again, the paper handed you out, they gotta meet those, basically those, they call it the three-prong test. You gotta meet those criteria. So if there's just anything you guys can see to do with that, you know, we need to try to use that money. It's like the issue 2 money, we wanna get this chance again. We need to think what they say, put your thinking caps on and think of ways that we can spend that money. They gave it to us, we did a resolution to get it, we ought to try to use it. It's helping the citizens as well. Other than that, I can't say anything else.
Can I make a comment about that, trustee? I
Yes.
want to give you what some suggestions have been, and it's been many people, different people making suggestions, and it's not that you want to do all these things, but tonight you talked about Zoom equipment. That's one idea to put on paper. 2, the fire department's already reserved $30,000 for their internal operations. 3, it was discussed of getting a long-term contract for someone that's a COVID cleaning expert to clean all your facilities before and after all meetings. So you know it's not just cleaned or mopped, it is actually COVID certified in your records. So if somebody gets COVID, you know, you can go back to your records and show that you did your best to clean the facilities correctly. 4, a lot of our buildings have punch codes, and they say that's a no-no with passing the coronavirus, that some cities and villages and townships, but I don't have a specific one to give you here local, are changing their security systems or updating their security systems to a swipe card, where you have to have a swipe card to enter the building. With a swipe card, you never touch anything other than the handle to open up the door. That's an option. Another option Mr. Mann brought up last week, I think, is what would it cost to give masks to every household in Jefferson Township? Don't know what that cost would be, but that's a pretty positive thought, because you might have residents in the community that can't afford their own masks, or they're going to run out if this coronavirus doesn't leave. The next thing is, Kettering just did this. They bought an ambulance with the money, because in the ambulance they're installing an air treatment facility for COVID. So they're going to have some type of infrared lights in the ambulance, you know, to do that. So they're using some of the COVID money to pay for that specialized equipment to treat the air inside the ambulance. Another option is they're doing the same thing for their buildings. They're retrofitting the buildings at their furnace place, wherever their furnace site is, with COVID treatment, some kind of infrared light. I'm not an expert about it.
UV.
Like you mentioned, Roy, with the air right above your head, it's UV light or what, yeah, and you would know that, Mike, because of what you do about how it kills viruses. So those are the things that I've written down, and I'm sure there's a lot of others. But like Tracy said, we have a deadline coming up of November. We got to get more focused on the ideas.
Touchless faucet was an idea from Jackson Township.
What was it?
Touchless faucets from Jackson
Okay.
Township. Washington Township had touchless keyless entries. I was at a meeting, MCTI, at this meeting. German Township had sound system and audio visual web. I have a list of just the people who have different things.
So what I would suggest is if it's okay, Tracy and I, if it's okay, we can put this list together and send it to you trustees. And have something with pricing next to each of these things. It may be way out of whack if you can't afford these things, but since it's, like you said, Mike, your own money, free money, we better spend every dollar of it, or we're told our residents here in the township that we did our best to protect them either. So, you know, if you guys come up with ideas, please send them to us, because this is gonna be time, you know, with vendors and getting price and everything, it's gonna be a pretty number crunching event. So we need your ideas as soon as you can get them to us. Because we wanna take care of the people that live here.
So we have a big issue with coming in Calumet Center and that gate and having to lift that latch up every time. Everybody's touching that. I mean, not just us, but other people coming that entrance.
That's a good idea.
Because there's no lock on that, so other people even come in there. So I have, one concern is, one of our employees is kind of, and it's gonna get dark earlier, kind of fearful of coming in that back gate. And she knows nothing about who could be back there. And she comes in, and that gate's there's no lock on there. Anybody can come in there, anybody from the neighborhood or anybody right. I see all the time when I come in there, people just stop parking in that parking lot, don't know who they are. So they could be in that area because there's no lock on that gate. But besides that security, there's also the COVID issue of who's touching that.
Right. So that could go right into that security system quote. You know, for all of our buildings, and swipe card right there at the gate.
Gate opens.
Gate opens. Got an electric arm on it. That's a good one, Tracy.
Good idea.
So we'll get to work starting tomorrow morning trying to number crunch some of this numbers, so we're not just sending ideas on paper. We'll have some actual estimate, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
We won't worry about the vendor's name right now. We just got to get this stuff on paper of what you want to encumber by what, 15?
I can't remember the exact, it's November now, but
Okay.
today is November, I have to look at my paperwork to see the road.
Next meeting, we'll have it done for you. How's that? Is that okay, Tracy?
Yeah, that should work, yeah.
Okay.
November 20th. So the next meeting should be good.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the fiscal officer's report and pay the vouchers and warrants and take care of all financial business.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the fiscal officer's report. Have a roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee McGuire?
Yes.
Trustee Mann?
Yes.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, so resolutions are next, and we only have one on here, thank goodness, and,
There's actually two in your package, and there's one with three because the fire department put one.
oh, yeah, okay, we did get over, yeah. Okay. Do we know the number of the first one, Tracy?
Yes, it's 20-083.
83?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, first resolution is 20-083, approving 2020, that's not a number, that's the year, of course, approving the 2020 transfer of funds totaling $15,000. The Board of Trustees of Jefferson Township in Montgomery County met tonight, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the road fund codes are not sufficiently budgeted to pay the bills as approved by the money, an unplanned hiring of new employees, blah, blah, blah. Several bills are currently due must be paid before the end of the 2020 from the road fund. So they basically want to move some money around, transfer 10,000 from one fund and 5,000 from another fund. And it's all in the road. It's correct, Tracy? It's in the road to road. Comments, questions? Anything?
This was approved by you trustees last meeting. We had to draft up a resolution.
We approved to be able to do it, but not the amount, correct?
Right. Well, yeah, the amount was to. But you had to pass the resolution.
You want to just go ahead and make the motion and second it and go with it? We have it on record.
What's the resolution number?
83.
20-083.
Move to adopt resolution number 20083, approving the 2020 transfer of funds totaling $15,000.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to adopt resolution 20-083. Any questions? Yeah, roll call please, Tracy.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee McGuire.
Yes.
Trustee Mann.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, so we have another resolution on the floor. This would be 084. Resolution 20-084, the Jefferson Township Board of Trustees authorize the Township Fire Chief to hire probationary EMT Ian Finch. Did I say that right?
Ian Finch.
Ian Finch. Probationary firefighters Robert Cook, Tyler Nitzwitz.
Can't help you on
You want to say this for me there, please?
I don't even know Tyler Netzel, I believe. Timothy Reeser, then firefighter, probationary firefighter EMT Ashley Havener, father and son Nathan Reeser and Timothy Reeser there, and Forrest Weiss. A few meetings ago or months ago, the water main break over on East Dayton stopped our secure check from doing blood urine tests, drug screenings. So the trustees authorized the former chief to go ahead and do a blanket resolution. All of these firefighters are on orientation or about to start orientation, but they all have passed the background checks, motor vehicle reports, and screenings. So we are requesting you authorize the chief to go ahead and bring them on board.
I'd like to make a motion we adopt resolution 20-084.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to pass resolution 20-084. Any questions? Roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee McGuire.
Yes.
Trustee Mann.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Mr. President, are we good to return to a meeting by meeting resolution? Instead of a blanket one like this, go back to as we get them, bring them to you every meeting.
Say that again. What?
Okay, instead of a blanket one like this, are we good to return back to every meeting? If we have some, we will
Yes.
present them to you.
Yes, yes, please.
Let's vote that. Make a motion, Mr. McLaughlin.
Was it ever voted the other way? Was it ever voted to change? We don't change, we changed, we didn't vote to change it.
I was not at the meeting. I do not know if it was.
We didn't vote to change it, we just changed it because you couldn't get the background checks because of that water main break you spoke of. We never actually legally changed it.
What I understand, this was just a verbal from the judge.
So this was just a one-off?
We only did for that one.
Yeah.
time.
Okay,
Yeah, that, the resolution. Did you pass it?
sign it, pass it on, oh, here, oh,
It's right there, on the table, front end. Is that the one?
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
how do everybody else do, if I can look at that, so we go to Zoom, and Mr. Mann talks about being able to do that, so he can stay at home and you're not in, so you have your own choice doing that, how do you sign the paperwork? How do you sign the resolution over Zoom? I mean, That may be a good question for Nathaniel, Mr. Wolf. Can you please ask that question?
I will
How's
also
everybody
go,
else doing that?
I'll go to Washington and Harrison, which are the two largest,
Okay.
and Miami. All three are not holding.
What's that,
meetings.
Washington DC or Washington?
No, Washington.
Oh, okay.
Dayton, Ohio. Those are the three largest, and they've been doing Zoom since the day that COVID
Okay.
hit. And they've
Okay,
not
yeah,
had
just,
their
yeah,
buildings
so how
open.
to, so we know how to handle that.
Okay,
Okay,
There's another one in the folder. It's on the tax budget. This is what we do every year.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
our budget, cycle started.
Okay, so,
You the only one with a copy of that?
is
No,
it,
it's in your folder.
it's in my folder.
It was under the first resolution.
Okay, so we're calling this, resolution 20-085.
Yeah, on page 6 is the resolution, I'm going to put it on that page if you want to.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know how I got that.
085.
Yeah, let's get that 20.
Okay, so the next resolution is 20-085, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. This is just done year after year, guys. You gotta do it.
And so attached in there are the numbers on page 2
Yeah.
and 3 on the numbers.
I don't have a copy
And
of
then,
that.
you don't have it in your folder?
Nope.
You got one, you got one, right?
You got
Yeah,
it
I
all
got
right?
one.
See if I can get two of them, next please.
Look up under the resolution. Let's see.
I didn't get any resolutions.
You didn't get in?
Nope. Printed them wrong for this one, that's it. Well, this one's the one I had to print. There's nothing else in the packet. This one.
Oh, no, not the one.
Just something the two of you worked out, or?
No, he's got one. He's got one. Let's see, the whole packet.
Thanks. Thank you. You be able to look at that, Jim?
So these are estimates. By the beginning of the year, I'll get the actual numbers, they're usually not that far off, but this is where we can start our budget one, when we start doing the budget meeting. And basically, this is what we got this year, these numbers are what we got this year, that's what I do.
Where do we sign it, Tracy? Is there a place for us to sign?
Yes. so
Oh, on the,
page-
you just, on the, huh?
So page 4 or 5?
Okay, I see it, you're right. I'd like to make a motion, we, accept adopt resolution 20-085.
Was this, question, was this this created by Tracy or Carl Keith's office?
This is their basic resolution, I just put in our township in there. You see, all the letters in bold is the only thing I said. All the words in bold. And of course, I added you guys' name in there.
Mr. President, move to table this to the next meeting.
We have a motion on the table.
We have a motion on the floor we have a motion on the floor
We
to,
also don't have a second.
neither one does. Mr. Mann, what do you want to do?
Is there a time limit on this?
Yeah, we have to have it done on November 1st, so you can wait till the next meeting, but there's just more, less time for us to get it on time. It was actually due, but due to the corona, it was actually due October 31st. Due to the corona, they was a little bit, but not much.
I want a chance to review the numbers.
And numbers aren't gonna change. We still have to try to review it before we get on stuff. Again, the numbers change at the beginning of the year. The numbers are what they are what they are. We can't change it. The numbers can't change. That's just what they're telling us that we get. And it's an estimate again. And give until the beginning of the year is when we get the actual number.
I'm not comfortable with it.
So what do you propose, if we wait, what do you propose gonna change?
I'm gonna review it. We don't have a motion to adopt it at this point, so.
Are we going, Mr. Miller, waiting on you, I guess?
It's your decision, Mr. Mann.
What's the motion to table it or what?
There's a motion on the floor first to pass it, and then Jim made a motion, without that motion on the floor, he made a motion to table it. So neither motion has a second, so it's up to you to see which one you want to second. You want to second tabling it, or do you want to second passing it? The numbers aren't going to change from now in 2 weeks.
Well, if it was not important, it would have been on the agenda to begin with, and we would have.
It was on the agenda, it just didn't get put on there. I don't
I
understand
don't
why
want to
I
talk
told
about
us
things
to.
being important, being on the agenda.
I can't believe you even brought that up with all the resolutions you bring up that's not on the agenda.
No kidding.
And this was on the agenda, it was given to her ahead.
Without the numbers, you didn't put anything with it.
What are you saying? It was with it. I gave her everything.
So this is the
This
first
was a
time I'm seeing
mistake.
it.
Whatever. Mr. Mann, what do you want to do?
Okay, I can paste it or table it, right?
Correct.
These keep on power keep, so,
Yeah,
okay, I'll paste.
so you second the motion?
Yes. So we have a motion on the floor to accept resolution 20-085. Any questions? Roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee McLaughlin,
Yes?
trustee McGuire,
No.
trustee Mann.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Did that carry a resolution number, Mr.
Sure.
McLaughlin?
I think that's 485.
Thank you.
Yes.
I missed that, I apologize. Thank you.
Okay, so now I do believe we're done with resolutions, as we're going to get it signed. Thanks, Jim. Okay, so next we have departmental reports, code enforcement department.
Mr. President, question.
Yes.
Tracy, I have one question for you. When we were talking about this, issue 2, you said that you needed the trustees needed a resolution.
Daniel Hughes said you guys a sample of a resolution that you guys could use to I suggested.
There was just legislation passed, and there's about $700,000 worth of road money that we'll have to play with to plug into the budget now. So in many ways, this satisfies your request. Well, it doesn't according to your rules, but if
You don't have the
Hey,
line
hey, hey.
item number and the
You
resolution?
talk about controlling a meeting, and we want a good meeting here. Mr. Mann is talking to Ms. Edwards.
I need a line item number that you're gonna be putting that in the resolution. I need a line item number and the amount you're gonna be putting into that fund in that resolution. That's what I need. Whether we have $1 million, $20 million, I still need the line item number and the amount that's gonna be put in that line item.
Well, question, you didn't need a line item number to spend all that COVID money we just discussed.
We
but
do
you
have a
a
line
rule on
item
this.
number. We do have a line item number. If you look at your appropriation sheet, you will see that the line item 2272 for public funds.
Okay, so if we get a resolution with a line item number for this 41,000 some dollars, then that